guys. All right, guys, I'm going to be doing the interview first, and then we'll stop, and then we'll go on to the next. I'm going to do the interview, and then I'm going to explain to you guys the psychology behind it, but I'm going to start from the knock on the door. So, hello. Hey, my name's Rob with Direct Energy of Florida. Now, did they make it clear to you guys exactly what I'm stopping by today over the phone?
They said you were going to do an energy audit.
Great. Well, I'm in our advertising and promotions department. I'm not in our sales department. My job is really special. I get to go around and find 4 or 5 different homes in each city and zip code and see if they get to qualify for my advertising program. Now, generally, if you qualify for my advertising program, I could save you guys anywhere from 20 to 50% off your power bill. I do it without affecting your budget or taking a penny out of your pocket. Now, that being said, not everybody qualifies. There's several things that need to happen first. Now, first, you have to have a need in the house. That's the whole purpose of my energy analysis. If you don't have a need, I pack up and I'm out of here lickety split. Now, if you do, I can stay. Now, the second thing is that you have to have a high enough electric bill. Now, they told me that your guys' bill exceeds about $150 a month on average. Does that sound about right?
Yep.
That qualifies you right there. Really, anything over 150 in the state is considered extremely high per government standards. Now, the third thing is that you have to have a job and or pay federal income taxes. Now, are you still working?
Yes.
Still working? Yeah. And perfect. If you guys weren't paying taxes, we do have a special program for you. But you guys paying taxes, it's hard to get away from Uncle Sam. So that qualifies you right there. Now, the fourth thing is that you'd have to agree to our program. You'd have to like it and understand it. But if I can do all 4 of those things, generally I can save you anywhere from 20 to 50% off your power bill. I do without affecting your budget or taking a penny out of your pocket. Does that sound fair enough?
Yeah.
Awesome. Guys, I'm just gonna ask you guys a couple simple questions here real quick. And now, when I pulled out your guys' electric bill earlier, all right, I was looking at it and it looked like you guys were about 2,000 kilowatts on the high, and then you guys were also about 1,000 kilowatts on the low. Now you guys are getting charged 16 cents per kilowatt on your electric bill. So, thank you, sir. So if I have 2,000 kilowatts times 16 cents, your highest bill in the summertime is going to be about $320 a month.
Correct.
Now your lowest bill in the winter time is going to be about 160. Gotta get used to this thing. 160. All right. Now, generally, if you take your highest bill and your lowest bill and you average those out, it's almost spot on and exact if you take it for the whole year. So if I take your 160 and add it to your 320 and average that out, it's gonna give you a $240 electric bill. Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Would never go over 320 for 6 months out of the year. Would never go under 160 for 6 months out of the year. Perfect. Now, I got Mary and Bob lay down on my appointment sheet. Lay down. And our date is the 7th, so we're 10-7-23. And our time, this is me clocking in. What time do you got there?
2:05.
2:05. I'm clocking in, guys. Now, just a couple quick questions. Now, on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, how important is it for you and your family to save energy and money?
10.
Okay, you guys are 10 on that one? All right, I usually get a 10 on that one. Another question, on the scale from 1 to 10, 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest, how important is the environment to you and your family? Like the birds and the bees, the flowers and the trees?
10.
Okay, so you guys are both at 10 on that one. Awesome. And then how does the rising cost from your local electric company make you feel? I mean, are you feeling a little bit okay about it? Are you concerned? Are you angry? Are you furious about the situation? You're furious.
Yeah,
Okay.
concerned
Well,
about
I
that.
saw your guys' electric bill. It said Duke on the top, so I kind of assumed that they're usually furious about the electric bill. Duke's here, furious. Tico's here, angry. The only one that's okay is Withlacoochee. All right. Now, do you guys have any gas in the home?
No.
Okay, perfect. Now you're just electric. And then it looks like your guys' home, the square footage of it, I have 1,600 square feet. and I have a 2-car garage. Now, the car garage for under your guys' roof, that's not included in your under air square footage. We pull that from the property appraiser. Does that sound about right for your living space?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Now your 2-car garage, that's generally, one car is about 10 by 20, right? So you got about 200 square feet per car. You guys have 2, so that's about 200 or 400 square feet. So we'll equal that 400 square feet. So you're about 2,000 square feet under your roof. Does that make sense?
Right.
Perfect. Now, what year was your guys' house built? Do you know?
1999.
1999? 99. I was 4. And how long have you guys been in the home? How long have you lived here?
We've been here for like 9 years.
About 9 years now?
Yep.
Okay. How long do you guys plan on living here?
For the rest of our lives.
Okay, so you guys are going out the front door feet first.
Yeah.
All right, you're going out horizontally, not vertically.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Believe it or not, I hear that more often than not here down here in Florida. And how many people live here consistently? Is it just you two? You got kids, anything like that, or is it just you two?
His damn son won't stop coming
Is he
around,
one of
so.
those? Is he one of those?
Yeah, he sleeps on the
deadbeats?
couch
One of
every
those
once in a
deadbeat
while. That's
motherfuckers?
why our electric bill's so high.
It's from that previous
Yeah,
marriage, too. Huh?
come on.
No good mother of his, huh?
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, Mary, all right? So we got 2 adults in the house. Now, what temperature do you guys, these are really important, guys.
Okay.
What temperature do you guys keep your AC at in the summer?
77.
You got to keep right around 77, okay? And then in the wintertime, what would you keep your wintertime bill at? Do you use the heat very often in the
Not
winter?
really.
Okay, so you're really not kicking it on very
Right.
often? Okay. Yeah, Florida's one of the only places where you turn your heat on just to take the chill off in the morning, now like 2 weeks out of the year. And then by 10 o'clock in the afternoon, or 10 o'clock in the morning, you're putting the AC back on because it's so hot outside.
Right.
So that's perfect right there. Now I do want to let you guys know that 77, do you guys set that because that's where your body's comfortable or where your wallet's comfortable? And what I mean by that is if power was free, would you guys set it any lower?
Oh, yeah, we'd be lower, but that's what we can afford.
Oh, okay, so that's where you guys, where do you think you'd like to set it?
74.
Maybe about 74 or something like that?
Yeah.
And I do want to let you know that's where you want it. Now, for every degree above or below that 78, where the power company recommends you set your AC, or in the wintertime, they'll recommend that you set your AC at 68. For every degree above or below, you'll either cost or save yourself about 6 degrees. So at 77, you're costing yourself about $6 a month. At 74, you would be about 4 times 6, about $24 extra a month right there, all right? Now, how many AC units do you guys have? Do you guys have one big one out there?
Central air.
Okay, you got one big central air, and do you guys know the tonnage of it offhand?
No.
For 1,600 square feet, you should be right around a 3 ton. I'm gonna check it outside. They don't make it easy. You gotta take a barcode that's on the outside of the unit. There's a number inside of that barcode that's divisible by 6. Then you have to divide that thing by 12. I don't know why they don't just slap a sticker on it and they make it hard for us, but they don't. So I'll go out there and I'll check it for you, but you should have, just for your square footage, you should have about a 2.5 to a 3 ton, all right? Either or would be fine. Now, your thermostat. Do you guys have a digital thermostat, a programmable, or one of those old slide or dial ones?
It's a dinosaur.
It's an old dinosaur. You got an
Yeah,
old dial
yeah,
one?
yeah.
Oh my god! Oh my god! All right, so I'm gonna check that for you guys. Do you guys know the value of having like a programmable thermostat or anything like that?
I don't know how to use it, so I don't want it.
I'm gonna check it. I'm gonna check your thermostat for you, and then your AC. How old is the AC?
We don't know. We've never done anything.
So
to
you've
it.
been here for about 9 years, so it's at
Yeah.
least 9 or 10 years old. Okay. Well, no promises on how well it's working, all right? I haven't seen a correlation between age of the unit and how efficient it is. I've seen units that are 20 years old blowing out right where they're supposed to be, and I've seen units that are 2 years old blowing out 10 degrees too hot. Very inefficient. So there's no correlation between age of the unit, but I'm gonna do a test on it. And if your AC is working efficiently, it'll blow out between 52 and 55 degrees out of your vents. All right, now for every degree above 55, it'll cost you about $6 a month per degree. So let's say I set your AC down to 65, I let it run for about 5 to 10 minutes, get it all down to true temperature, and let it blow out all that stale air out of the ductwork. And if I test that temperature and you're blowing out at 62, that's 7 degrees higher than 55, it'll cost you about 7 times 6, about $42 a month extra on your electric bill. So I'm gonna check that for you guys. I don't recommend you do anything about it until you're really over 8 or 9 years old on your AC, and at the same time you're over about 59, 60 blowing out of the temperature. That's when it really makes sense to do something about it. So I'll check that for you there. Now windows, have you guys replaced windows in the home?
No.
And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't recommend windows, all right? Everybody thinks windows, windows, windows. That's how you're gonna save all the money. Excuse me. I talk a lot. Do you guys have a glass of water that you can get real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, just
I got you.
3 or 4 cubes if you could.
Yep.
Just 2 or 3 cubes. Oh, the hospitality in here is amazing, guys. You guys are unbelievable. You have a beautiful home here, too. Thank you so much. All right, I appreciate it. Cheers. All right, now, windows. All right, everybody thinks windows, windows, windows. I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit of a secret. You see how hot it is outside? Yeah. Hottest it gets maybe about 100 degrees, right? Your attic right now is about 130 degrees. Do you see the square footage of your windows in here?
Mhm.
Maybe 1 window, 2 windows, right? What's that, maybe 10 square feet, 12 square feet? And then look at the square footage of your ceiling, okay? And your attic is about 130 degrees right now. 62% of your heat loss and gain will come through that attic. Only about 8 to 12 comes through your windows and doors. So if I concrete blocked every single window in this house, the most I could save is about 4 to 6%. And the cost to do windows in here for double panes or even hurricane windows will cost you anywhere from $30,000 to $40,000. You'll never get your money back out of that. So the value's there for safety, hurricanes, aesthetics, all right? But as far as getting money back on your electric bill, they'll never pay for themselves. So I don't recommend windows. It's a really good idea though. I did notice your front door, okay? The weather stripping that you guys have on the front door, it's a lot like chewed up. It looks like the dog chewed some of it up and you got a lot of gaps. It's a really good idea to replace it. And there's 3 different types that you can replace that weather stripping with. Now, the first type is the type that you guys have. It's a little foam side, sticky side. Problem with that stuff is it gets it's so humid here in Florida that sticky stuff starts to peel off. And then you have our rubber stuff. That's the stuff that the builders use. Now that works pretty good. It'll work for about 2 or 3 years, but then it starts to dry rot because it gets so hot. And then at the same time, there's insulation in between that rubber. And the insulation gets burned up. It's fiberglass, so it just burns up with the heat. Okay, so after about 2 or 3 years, you got to replace it. The best type is a copper spring-loaded weather stripper. I don't know if have you guys ever seen it at Home Depot? It's kind of got like a copper V like this, okay? And it comes in a little kit, and there's a little spring in here, okay? It's copper spring-loaded weather stripping. When you close your door, it makes a complete seal, and when you open it back up, all right, that spring never wears out. So you actually screw it into the door jamb. It's not like that rubber stuff that fits into the seal. Once you do it once, it lasts forever. It's copper. Copper never deteriorates, breaks down, anything like that, mold, anything. So it's a really good idea to do that. It's gonna cost you a little bit more. You get the foam stuff for $3. You can get the rubber stuff for maybe $20 a door. And then that copper stuff, you're probably looking about $50, $60 a door to get that done. But you do it once and you never have to do it again. So I do recommend that stuff. It's a good idea. Windows, no. And I know you guys are gonna end up fixing that weather stripping. So we'll put the weather stripping on there too. And ceiling fans. Now I see you have the ceiling fan in the living room here. It's not on. I see you have the one in the dining room over there. It's not on. Do you guys have any other ceiling fans in the rest of the house?
One in the bedroom.
You got a couple in the bedrooms. And do you guys use them in the bedrooms at all? Or do you guys use them in the house at all? Very often?
Well,
no?
he turned them on, I turned them off.
Okay, so you're a little hot sometimes. You turn the ceiling fan on, and then you're going around trying to save energy. Right?
Yeah.
Turning them off. I'm gonna be honest with you, Bob. Mary is actually saving you money, okay, by turning those ceiling fans on. All right, Mary.
I told you.
I know you hate Mary being right all the time, but all right. But really, what those ceiling fans do is they circulate the air. Now, your AC unit outside is the biggest user in your home by far. It's going to make up about 50% of your electric bill, and every time it kicks on, it's going to be 14,000 watts. All right. Now, it's really good at getting the air cold down to 52, 55. But once it comes out of that vent, all it can do is push itself to your thermostat to shut itself off. All right, that's what the thermostat is.
It
I like to
never
call it a
shuts
little
off.
money control valve. Okay, you can set it up 2 degrees, save yourself $12, set it down 2 degrees, call yourself. But that's how it shuts itself off. So what your ceiling fans do is they circulate that cold air to the thermostat faster, which shuts your AC out faster, which saves you money, right? Okay, absolutely. So it's a good idea. Use those ceiling fans. They don't take more than a coffee pot to run, 1 amp. 14,000 watts. Use those ceiling fans. You can run them 24/7. They won't pull with that AC that pulls in a day. All right. So it's a good idea to do those. And then outlets. Let me get up and take a look at your outlet over there. If you can see that outlet, it looks like you see that gap that you're looking at there. It looks like you don't have insulated outlet covers. And what I mean by that is your outlet behind that outlet is insulation in between your walls and your studs. Okay, the problem is that behind that is your concrete block. Now, you said your house was built in 1999. Thank you, Edwin. 1999, which is before 2004. Any house built after 2004 has concrete filled block every other. Top 2 blocks are concrete, bottom 2 blocks are concrete filled. So there's no heat that can actually get into your walls and then saturate through that outlet. Any house before 2004, it's all hollow block. And there's a wood header that goes across the top of your block that holds your roof on. Now your attic's probably 130 degrees and it's all radiation. What that does is it seeps right in between your walls. And then where your electrician came through when they built this house, they take a little X-Acto knife and go, okay? They're never perfect, okay? What happens, if you take a temperature gun on a 90, 95 degree day, you go 70, 70, 70, 70, 80. 77, right on your outlet. So they make these little tiny gaskets, and they're little foam gaskets, and it keeps all the heat in the walls. You just pop your cover off the backside, and pop that cover on, and then you put it right back on. It'll take you 15 minutes. It'll cost you, I don't know, maybe $10 to do the whole house. They're like 5 cents a piece. All right, so it's not gonna make you guys rich, guys, but you might be able to treat yourself to like a steak dinner in maybe 10 years or something like that. If not steak, maybe Salisbury steak. Okay, but you'll at least get the savings. You'll get your money back out of it quickly, all right? And then pool. Do you guys have a pool?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And your pool, do you guys know do you guys have a heater on there? You got an electric heater, no heater? Yeah, we don't really need one here in Florida. It's pretty warm outside.
Right.
I actually like my pool colder, you know. I heard that there's a pool chiller somewhere. I don't know who told me that.
I wish they had pool chillers.
I heard there's a pool chiller somewhere. Now, do you guys know if your energy, if you have a pool pump that's energy efficient or a variable speed or?
I know it's a single speed.
A single speed, a single stage. Okay, so I don't know if you guys know how much it's costing you on your electric bill, but the average pool company in the state of Florida will recommend that you run your pool 8 hours in the winter and 10 hours in the summer, sometimes even 12. But if you're running it 8 to 10 hours, okay, it's gonna cost you anywhere from really about $7 per hour per month that you're running it. So if you're running it 8 hours, it'll cost you 8 times 7, about $56 a month. Are you guys running about 8? Is that the timer? 8?
Yeah.
So it'll cost you about $56 a month. Now a variable speed pool pump will actually only cost $2 per hour per month, which means it only costs $16 a month, which means it'll save you $40 on your electric bill. And at the same time, what those do is they go from 3450 RPMs down to 2450, down to 1750, different speeds, okay, which uses a lot lower wattage on that 1750 speed. You could run it 24/7 and it'll pull half as much as what your pool pump's pulling in 8 hours. Now, your pool pump is running at 3,450 RPMs. Have you guys ever gotten your car up to 3,450 RPMs?
No.
Okay, it's screaming, right? Just like I can hear the pool pump on right now. That essentially you're driving on I-4 in first gear, okay? What the variable speed does, it goes from first to second to third, and now you can run smoothly the whole rest of the way. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I really recommend a Pentair. They make them out of Orlando, so it's a real close company, and they're the best pool pump that you can get. So I do recommend a variable speed pool pump. Now your dishwasher, how often do you guys use the dishwasher? Are you guys using these?
Once a day.
Okay, once a day. And then electronics, computers, flat screen TVs. Now these are really, really big. How many TVs do you guys have now?
2.
Okay, so you got 2 TVs. Now, you ever turn that TV off and that little red or white light turns on?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. if it's on, how's the TV completely off? It's not, right? They're called vampires. They're always pulling power. And if you go behind that TV when it's off, but it's plugged in, you'll see all types of little lights if you look in the little vents, and if you feel it, it's warm. All right, it's always pulling power. It'll pull about 50% of the power that it pulls when it's in the on position, when it's in the off position. What I mean is if you're using your TV like an average American, which is about $6 a month, it'll it'll take you about 3 to 4 hours a day to equate to $6 a month, all right? Which is the average. Now, if you have that TV off all month long, it'll cost you $3 a month on your electric bill. Now, nobody's gonna go around unplug their TVs. Are you gonna unplug your TVs when you're done using it to save $3? No. But what I recommend are power strips, all right? Have you ever seen like surge protectors? They'll protect you from surges. That you can overload 6 outlets, put them onto one, trip your breaker. Right. Or the little red switch on there thing, that little red switch, when you flip it, it cuts all the power coming from that outlet. So what they make now are they make remote control outlets, or at the same time they make little surge protectors with remotes on them, or even better, they have smart outlets. They link right up to your phone. So as soon as you leave the Wi-Fi, it detects that it's off. Anything that you have hooked up to it shuts it off automatically. When you come back home, it turns everything back on. It's a really good idea to get that because do you guys have a desktop computer?
Yeah.
Desktop computer, that'll cost you $10 a month. Okay, just sitting there if you're using it 2 hours a day. If you're have it there off all month long, which a lot of my homeowners do, okay, it'll cost you $5 a month. Just sit there and standby mode. A laptop, if you have the charger plugged in, but your laptop's not plugged into it, it'll cost you $250 just sitting there. You go up the box, it's warm. Laptop's not even plugged into it and the box is warm. It's always pulling power. And then the worst are those little, the little white boxes on your iPhone chargers or on your Android chargers? Those things, if you want to do a test, shut all your lights off at night, take one of your boxes, plug it into the outlet. Okay, you'll see a spark. And as soon as that spark hits, it starts running up your meat. Doesn't matter if your cord's plugged into it or not. It costs you like $1 a month every one of those chargers. So keep them unplugged. I like mine hooked up to power strips because if I end up unplugging my chargers, I set it on the counter. Next thing you know, my girlfriend takes it to work. It's gone forever. All right. So I like all mine hooked up to power strips or up to the smart outlet. So I can just flip the switch and I can just walk out and it shuts everything off. All right. So it's a really good idea to get those. Now, LED light bulbs. Have you guys switched to LEDs? Do you know about the LEDs? Okay, so you switched over? Yep. Okay, it's awesome. They'll produce about 90% light compared to 10% heat, where the old incandescent bulbs, you remember like back in the day, all the Christmas trees that used to start on fire every year? Okay, that's because we were using incandescents, little 250-degree bulbs, a big dry tree. Okay, it's a recipe for disaster. Now it's all LEDs, so you don't hear about the fires every year because they only get about 80, 90 degrees. Okay, so they're a lot cheaper on your electric bill, they're a lot safer, and at the same time, it's counterproductive here in Florida to have a bunch of 250-degree heaters in your house when you're trying to keep it at 72. So it's really good that you guys did that. It'll save you about 7% you save by putting them in. Now, a hot water heater. Do you guys have one of the big tanks outside?
Yeah.
Okay. And how old is that hot water heater? Is it the same with the AC power?
Yeah, we haven't done that.
Okay, so maybe about 9-10 years plus, something like that. Okay, and do you guys drain it?
Drain it? What do you mean, draining?
I think so. Okay, so you didn't know you were supposed to?
No.
Okay, well that's all right. You guys are 90% of people, okay? 90% of people don't know that they should and don't. 5% know that they should and don't. And then 5% know that they shouldn't do, okay? So you guys are 90% of people, you're not left out. But your hot water heater is really important, is the biggest waster in the home. Okay, your AC is the biggest user in the home, 14,000 watts. Your hot water heater is going to be the biggest waster. And the reason why is because you see those two boxes out there? You ever go out there, you see those two boxes? Those two boxes have elements behind them. They're kind of like old charcoal briquette starters. You know, the ones that you stick into the charcoal and it gets red hot, starts it up. Now we have lighter fluid, so it's just, or a torch. But back in the day, they used to have those prongs. What happens is you have two 4,500 watt prongs in your hot water heater and they never shut off. They're 24/7 at 9,000 watts, 4,500 and 4,500. So it's not 14,000 watts, it's 9,000 watts, but it never shuts off. Where your AC, you got that little money control I was talking about. Now what happens is we have hard water here in Florida and throughout the rest of the United States. And hard water is mineral deposits, rock and debris. What happens is that rock and debris, it starts to shale up on those elements and it starts to build up, build up, build up, build up. and then eventually, do you guys remember those old coil stoves in the old apartment complexes?
Yeah.
Okay, it's like you're trying to boil water, you got a pot of water on the stove, but before you boil the water, you take a giant brick and put it on top of there first. Now, it's obviously gonna take a lot longer to heat up that water, right? A lot more energy. That's essentially what happens when you're not draining your hot water. And then you get a bunch of nasty sludge at the bottom there. So there's a little drain plug at the bottom. I'll show you where it is. You hook a hose up to it. You twist the knob, all right? You gotta shut the breaker off so you don't burn your elements out. Let it run until it runs clear. It might be a little clogged, all right, because it's been so long. But let it run until it runs clear. Once you start to see the clear water, you're gonna turn that knob back over, close it off. It'll fill itself back up. You'll hear it click, and then you can shut the breaker back up. But I mean, on a new one, it'll save you thousands over the course of the year. It's a really good idea to get that done, or to do it yourself. Now, if you don't want to waste hot water or wash your car or something like that, you know, and then you're not wasting the water and you're not wasting the electricity.
Right.
Does it sound fair?
Right.
Perfect. It's a good idea to do that at least twice a year, or at least once a year. But really, you want to do it about every 6 months, something like that. And then loads of laundry. I mean, how often are you guys doing loads of laundry per week? I mean, is it daily? Is it weekly? Me and my girlfriend, we're daily clothes washers. Every day, it's just constant. But how about you guys? Do you guys use it regularly, or
I'm thinking it's like maybe twice a week.
twice a week, something like that?
Yeah.
Okay, 2 times a week. And then, are you guys 2 shower a day people or 1 shower a day people? One? Awesome. I'm just trying to see about how much you're using that hot water heating system. And now attic ventilation. Have you guys put any different types of vents up there? An attic fan, electric attic fan, solar attic fan, anything like that? Okay.
No, haven't
I'm gonna
touched
check that for you. And then have you added any insulation?
No.
No. Okay. Now, if I get up there, all right, and I'm gonna take a peek up there, I'm not gonna climb into your attic, but I'm gonna check under the covers, all right? If you guys only got 2 inches, 4 inches of dust up there, okay, please don't be alarmed. Nobody stole your insulation. There wasn't an insulation burglar or bandit. The AC guy that was up there last didn't take it and put it in his house. All right, what happens is insulation is fiberglass. It's right in between sand and glass. All right, that's what fiberglass is. And it's problem with the fiberglass is it's in 130 degrees, hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold in your attic. So it goes 150 back, hot, cold. It'll break that insulation down and turns it right into dust. Okay, so if I get up there and you got 2 inches of dust, just don't be alarmed. All right. All right, guys, that is it for the interview. All right. Yeah, give me a round, motherfucker.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Now I'm gonna explain the psychology behind the interview, guys. What this interview is meant to do is, number one, it's meant to break down the wall. Now, first is the table speech, right? That's the first thing that you're gonna do right at the table. The psychology of the table speech is really building the value and using the takeaway and also creating scarcity. So number one, I want to let that homeowner know we've created this. I'm actually going to talk to the camera. We've actually created this a lead based off of a telemarketing call based off of an energy audit. Okay, so we need to go in there as energy auditors. So the first thing that I'm going to say is, Bob and Mary, I'm not in the sales department. I'm in the advertising and promotions department, and I'm going to edify my job. My job is really special. Is it still going? My job is really special. No. We want it there. I want you guys in there. You guys in there. All right. My job is really special. My job is to go around and find 4 or 5 different homes in each city and zip code and qualify for my advertising program. What I'm doing with 4 to 5 different homes in each city and zip code is I'm creating scarcity. Okay. As soon as I say to be included in our 5 different homes to qualify for our advertising program. Generally, if you qualify, you can save anywhere from 20 to 50% off your power bill without affecting your budget or taking any money out of your pocket. Now, that being said, not everybody qualifies. That whole first sentence that we're saying there, okay, it's backing up what the marketer told the homeowner. Savings on their electric bill, 20 to 50%. At the same time, it is telling them that we're not in the sales department, which they were told over the phone, that we're not there to sell them anything, that we're just there to do an energy audit, okay? Now, I'm gonna also create inclusivity and also at the same time, more scarcity. Now, there's several things that must happen first for you to be qualified. Number one, you're gonna have to have that need. If you don't have a need, I'm gonna pack up and I'm gonna get out of your hair before you know it, or out of lickety split, okay? I'm taking it away from them. I built the value, everything based off of what they set the appointment for, and then I'm taking away. We're gonna pack up and get out of here if you don't have a need. That's the whole purpose of my energy analysis. Now, second is you have to have a high enough electric bill. Now, we already know that their electric bill's over 150. We're the ones that set the appointment, okay? But I need to make sure that their electric bill's over that 150 to decide what I'm gonna pitch in the house. At the same time, I wanna feel them included. If their bill is over 150, great, you qualify. Okay, now that's inclusivity. Pay federal taxes, same thing, inclusive. Also, all of our products have a federal tax incentive, and they were told about the government incentives over the phone. So that third, you have to have a job and or pay federal income taxes. Right there matches what they were told over the phone as well. And then fourth, you'd have to agree to my advertising program. You'd have to like it and understand it. But if I can do all four of those things, generally I can save your family 20 to 50% off your power bill without affecting your budget or taking any money out of your pocket. I'm gonna reiterate that value that we're bringing to the table, okay? Sound fair enough. Get that in your brains, get that in your verbiage, practice it, say it sounds fair enough. You can say anything you want to somebody and then say sounds fair enough at the end, and they'll think about, hey, I guess that is kind of fair. I mean, anything you want, sounds fair enough. It's the perfect statement here in sales, all right? Great job, guys.